Hello and welcome, one and all, to a Thanksgiving special, I guess. This was supposed to be a Halloween special, actually, but I wasn't able to get to it. So here we are. I don't really do horror, and during October, a lot of people do spooky stuff. A lot of content creators do spooky stuff of some variety or another, but I'm generally not really about that kind of content, so I didn't really do anything special. I was going to react to this, the original storyboard pilot for The Owl House, just because The Owl House, while it is a kid show, while it is not outright horror, it can be kind of creepy. Dana Terrace herself is actually somewhat of a horror enjoyer, which explains some of the things in the series proper. But I was familiar with this having been leaked, I do believe, some months back, but I never got around to watching it, and I don't really know too much about it other than the fact that it's not colored, it is storyboards, but I do believe it is fully voiced, has sound effects to my knowledge, and I know that it has some things that remained true in canon and some things that got changed between, again, the storyboards of this original pilot and the actual series of The Owl House that ended up airing. Uh, I have already watched The Owl House in full. if you if you have not already seen the finale reaction on my channel, then you can go watch that. That is unfortunately the only Owl House reaction that you will see on my channel, just because I was watching this show as it was airing, and I didn't have a reaction channel at that time. So I didn't jump in late like some people who may or may not be reacting to the Owl House at present, and who have channels that are just a little bit bigger than mine. Anyways, uh, not trying to bash on anybody who isn't watching something, as it comes out, who does jump on a few years later. I'm not trying to gatekeep enjoyment of media or anything like that. Uh, if anything, I'm lamenting the fact that I wasn't able to get views from watching some of these shows that other creators do get views reacting to. Anyways, I am all over the place rambling at this point. Let's go ahead and watch this, shall we? Starting in three, two, one, go. Okay, this looks familiar. Oh, princess. That stayed the same though. Oh, jeez. Nope. Oops. The snake. Wait, that's not a pet, that's just a snake she grabbed from outside? Yikes. Okay, maybe a little. Oh. Okay. Oh yeah, this is there's certainly been a lot of differences so far, but like very interesting differences. At least she's self-aware. Okay. So the general idea and concept of portals was going to be a lot bigger, I guess. Maybe you should have just rolled with that loose. Uh-oh. Nailed it. Oh, okay. Oops. Terrible artifact. What? Never mind. No, you don't. Amazing. Sure. Of course. Whack. We outie. She got away with it, everyone. Yep. Remember that line. Yeah, some lines are just straight one-to-one reuse, but let's just say that that guard doesn't look the same way he does in the actual series. Oh, interesting. It was gonna be a shop? Hoot! Yeah. a bit more classic fantasy, I think, this look. No, ay, qué lindo. Ah, the ay, qué lindo is so iconic. I'm glad they added that in. I have a hard time seeing how this loose would want to stay in the Boiling Isles long term, you know? Definitely like very noticeable differences in her characterization. Oh my god, the cuts and flashes and stuff are really starting to bother me. Please. Oh? Oh my god. How about now? Hey, yeah, perilous enough? What? Oh, okay. Sure, why not? Is she oh, okay, so that was always part of the plan. Just bat. Say that a little louder, King. No, no. Oh. Oh. I don't I don't think I like this Amity. And like I was wondering if like Amity was going to be the reason for this version of Luce to want to stay, but now I'm kind of wanting to double down on what I said earlier with like, why would this Luce even want to stay here? You. Okay, I kind of like this though. I kind of like this though. Alex Hirsch is a treasure. Just a little. Just a little. Wow. Just straight up decapitated her sister. That's fine. Okay. I was wondering if she was just gonna destroy it. Close, closer. You're coming too. I'm sorry, what? That's probably fine. What in the nightmare creature? Hi, Amity. Hi, Amity. Is that Willow? Looked away for a second. Closed my eyes, more so. Uh oh. Fight. No. That's suck. Okay, that's not not particularly effective. It was fun, but oh, just just sent her somewhere. Oh, and then she's just trapped here. Okay. No. Keep track of that hand. Oh, what is this? Oh, huh. Okay. Yeah. So again, very different. Very different. It was that was pretty. It's pretty cool though. What to say? So I think that the overall tone was a bit more irreverent in this pilot. And that could just be, honestly, to get the show greenlit to begin with. Wouldn't be surprised if that were largely the case. Um, but it also could have just been that, like, at some point in time, like they wanted to go like a bit of a different direction with the series and make it kind of a bit sillier and because like frankly speaking, the characters in I think for the most part were obviously this is like an episode length, right? It's not like I didn't just watch like a whole season of a different like alternate universe Owl House, right? But the characters at at face value, at first impression, they do seem in this pilot to be simpler and more shallow, I would say. I think that there was a lot more just kind of like goofs, like lines that were just like not necessarily meant to be like indicative of like any kind of deeper character personality, and were more just like throwing out like a ha ha he he type of a line. But it was still fun, and yeah, just some really again just so like and aside from the characters being a bit different, some of the like more world stuff that was different. So early on, I thought I was talking about how like portals seem to be like more of a commonplace thing, but then at the end, I'm wondering if Luce breaking the key that Ida had was meant to serve as like her as like a way of as like being the reason why she does end up spending more time in the Boiling Isles is that she ends up trapped there because while by the end she did end up like having a the kind of similar to the sort of the actual canon material, she did end up having like a pretty immediate sort of camaraderie and connection with Ida, especially after getting the validation over the drawing from her. But even still, I do find it kind of hard to see why this version of Luce would want to stay for an extended period of time in the Boiling Isles, unless it were the case that she did end up being kind of trapped there. As again, I think that scene towards the end was meant to imply potentially. And then some other things like it seems like there were I feel like there's more monsters. I feel like there's more characters that are just like creatures that are not like that are not humanoid like witches who just are humans with pointy ears. Like it seemed like there were just more actual like monsters that were inhabiting the Boiling Isles that we would have been interacting with on a regular basis in this version of the Owl House. Lilith's role was obviously very different, seemingly in charge of the school. I guess she was previously in Principal Bump's place to an extent, but then they kind of like they separated out this version of Lilith into like multiple roles in a sense. Like we got Bump in the actual series, and then also she kind of played the role of the head guard, right? With the way that she decapitated Ida and then ended up chasing after her and attacking her, and the way that she was guarding the crown. And again, what so I think the one change that I do just very much actually kind of I think prefer in this pilot is I do like the bit with the locker, the way that like, you know, even in this pilot they showed us that like lockers in the school of the Boiling Isle was different. You know, the school would become Hexide, but I don't think it had that name in this pilot. We saw that the lockers were, you know, monstrous, and but the way that the human world locker ended up being like the vault that King's crown was hidden in and protected in, stored away, and yeah, that and the way that that looped back to the way that she like had the little bobby pin, the little hairpin that she used to pick the lock at the beginning for her locker. Uh, that was just really nice. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, there was some cool stuff. The creature that Lilith turned into was also just interesting, and you know that because obviously in the series proper, Ida is the one with the owl curse who has a monstrous form that affects her, that afflicts her, and in that same sort of vein, we know that the gemstone that Ida wears, you know, kind of reflects how active her curse is being and how controlled or not it is being. And that was also seemingly not always the case, where she was in this pilot at the very end, kind of being controlled by the emperor, by someone on behalf of the emperor. So, yeah, I I am curious how I'm just I don't know so there are some things about this that I am just like I'm very curious what the kind of initial plan was, or you know, I don't necessarily know how much forethought goes into some of these pilots because, again, obviously, the point of a pilot is to kind of like, or at least the point of a storyboarded pilot like this one is kind of just to like get the show approved, right? Obviously, you know, the Owl House had like an actual pilot that they aired in order to get people's attention and be like, hey, there's this new show, and here's us introducing it to you with the world and the character and what characters and whatnot. But I'm curious, like with this version of the pilot, like what were some of the plans initially, like with characters and stories and the world? And yeah, I don't know. I would be curious to hear more about what the intended direction was for this version of the Owl House. But I think that's gonna be it. I don't really know that I have too much more to pick apart about what I just watched. But if you think that there's something interesting that I maybe glossed over or could have paid more attention to, or you perhaps know something more about what I was talking about with like knowing more of the scrapped lore behind this pilot, then feel free to share that kind of thing in the comments. And speaking of comments and other similar associated metrics, again, remember to like the video if you enjoyed watching it. Check out other stuff on the channel. If you are interested in doing so, check out potentially my Watchalong channel if that is something that you are interested in watching. And until I see you in the next one, take care. Bye bye.